Is the agency model broken or is it just outdated? You built an agency, probably like me, to create freedom, but now it feels more like a trap than it does a vehicle. You've got the clients, the team, the deliverables, but somehow you're still working nights. Margins are thinner than ever, and you're wondering if this treadmill is ever going to stop. It's like wearing golden handcuffs, shiny on the outside, but they're restrictive as hell. Now, this video is for the agency who feels boxed in by the very model that they worked so hard to build. The problem isn't you, it's actually the outdated structure that you've outgrown. So I want to talk about what's next. Now, agency owners come to us because they want to productize their services, they want to monetize their expertise, and they want to stop selling just time and labor. Now, that can take many shapes, from training to consulting to licensing to hybrid delivery models. And we've helped nearly 900 clients make this transition. But there's one thing that I hear a lot, and it's, I just don't want to do some group coaching thing. And I get it. The second people hear leverage, they think it means selling a course or launching a mastermind. But leverage doesn't have to look like coaching or a mastermind. And that's where so many people will get stuck, not in their delivery, but in their label. They label themselves a coach, a consultant, or an agency. And these words don't just define what you call yourself. They shape how you think about pricing, delivery, and how you scale. And I've seen this firsthand. When I was still in corporate working at Cabela's, the same firm that we paid to build our mobile app, we also paid them over 6 figures to train our team on agile development so we could eventually do that sort of development in-house. Now, most agencies would never propose that. They'd be afraid of working themselves out of a job, but this firm, they didn't lose the project. They actually extended it. Instead of handing off the finished mobile app and walking away, they made more money. They stayed engaged with us longer, and they increased the lifetime value of working with us by teaching us how to think like them when it came to developing applications. It wasn't just about what they did, it was about how they helped us be better internally. That's when I realized that many clients, many prospects of yours don't need done-for-you services. They need a path to capability, and they'll pay more for it, not less. So let's dig into some of the shifts that you're going to need to make to capitalize on this in your business. Shift number 1, let me ask you a question. Are you a coach? Are you a consultant? Or are you an agency? Shift number 1 is all about the trap of labels. Once you pick a label, you inherit its pricing model, its delivery expectations, and even its client baggage. That label, agency, becomes a box. And soon you're wondering why the work feels heavy, why your margins are thin, and why your prospects ghost you after a proposal. What if the real issue wasn't what you sell, but the label that you're selling it under? Blair Enns, who wrote Win Without Pitching, an amazing book, said it best. I've seen great business ideas crushed as their owners tried to squeeze them in to the agency model. Now, I think in 2024, Blair wrote this article, Is the Agency Model Suffocating Your Business? And he kind of talks about how, we shouldn't even be calling ourselves agencies anymore, and the word firm is a better description. And he talks about kind of the rise of these anti-agency models, which, we like to call an alt agency. And he highlights Alex Hormozy and how he productized his service around Gym Launch and then turned it into a licensing and training program. And he really just kind of says, can we ditch the agency label finally, please? And I couldn't agree more. This label is hurting us more than it is benefiting us. That model, that agency model, it was built for a world that doesn't really exist anymore. In today's world, the lines between advertising, design, PR, dev shops, and being a creator or a coach, all of those lines are so blurry. It's a convergence game, and that's an advantage. If the landscape has changed, clinging to a legacy identity only is going to limit your growth. So let's look at what your clients actually want next. Shift number 2, clients want options, not boxes. We think clients want a polished, done-for-you solution, but here's the truth. Some want it done with them. Some want to be trained to do it themselves in-house. Some just want to license the outcome and all the tools and assets that you've already created. When you only offer one path, You force that person into a choice that they might not even be ready for. But here's the nuance. We're not saying you need dozens of offers. The goal isn't obviously complexity. It's strategic optionality built around your core expertise. Too many options solving too many unrelated problems creates chaos, tons of operational drag, a confused team, and no scale. The key is designing your offers like Chipotle. I've talked about this a dozen times. At Chipotle, you can order a burrito, a bowl, tacos, or a salad, but it's all the same ingredients. You just choose the container, the burrito, the taco shell, or a bowl, right? The client experience is consistent. Left to right, down the line, the same ingredients, just a different format. They're not out there running out the back door to go grab sushi or pizza, right? That would be a different business. Your agency should be the same. Everything you offer should be made from your core skill set, your proprietary ingredients, just packaged and served in different containers based on what your clients need the most. Now, this is where the real opportunity starts to open up. But before we start talking about smarter packaging, let's talk about why done for you doesn't mean what it used to, especially in an AI-powered world. Shift number 3, AI has made done for you massively more efficient, not just what we deliver, but in how we build the assets that actually deliver the results. But beyond tech, there's a bigger shift happening in how we package and sell our delivery. Hormozi tells the story of a consulting agency on his YouTube channel that was trying to lead with a $30,000 offer to cold leads. And he flat out told them that front-end offer is too aggressive. Now, why? Because they were trying to sell this high-ticket premium transformation to people who hadn't built enough trust, seen enough value, or understood the process just yet. So he had them unpack their process and start with a $5,800 entry offer, something that delivered a fast result and solved a smaller, more urgent problem. From there, the client could then upsell into that $30,000 core service and eventually even a $9,000 quarterly retainer with discount incentives to make renewals a no-brainer. That model wasn't about giving away value. It was about speeding up sales, building trust faster, and creating leverage in how results were actually delivered. And this is exactly what I see our clients get stuck on. They come to us and they're so busy chasing that $60,000 deal that they miss the money that's hiding inside of their own process. So we help them unpack that big thing, wrap it in a simpler, faster, more relevant offer. You'll sell quicker with less resistance and you'll create more lifetime value. And the model isn't about the label. It's about the sequence of value. And that's what we need to design next. Now, this brings me to shift number 4. I want to name those tools that are currently in your toolbox. First, coaches help clients think and grow. Consultants bring answers and frameworks. Mentors, they share a lived experience. Facilitators, they create structured action. Creators in the creator economy, they produce strategic assets. The service provider executes on high-skill work. Each is a delivery tool. It's a modality, not a personality type. So when you combine them intentionally, that's when your delivery becomes dynamic. And that's what today's clients actually need. And it's actually what you need. An example, one of our clients, Tim, he ran an 8-week program to help nonprofits raise money from their existing donor list. Then he had 2 pathways on the back, a $25,000 consulting track or a 6-figure done-for-you track. Now, let me tell you this. During COVID, when many agencies weren't able to land contract work, it was that $25K consulting work that was the core offer because it was way easier for them to justify $25,000 because they had internal team that could implement the strategies he consulted them on versus hiring a 6-figure retainer or annual contract where his whole team would do all of the work for them. Another example would be Alex Hormozi with Gym Launch. He had a 16-week program that was fundamentally a marketing sprint, having his gyms execute one campaign that would fill their gym. And that was the end of 16 weeks. And at one point, I remember he was charging 16 grand for those 16 weeks. But on the back end of that, once they filled their gym, they had other problems. And that's where they rolled them into a program that was actually 3 years long at the time. I don't know how it's structured now, where I think it was about $3 or $4 grand a month. And they actually helped on how to run a gym, how to hire, how to remove yourself and be more of the CEO. It wasn't just the one marketing campaign and how to fill a gym. It was like how to be a gym owner and run a business. Now, these modalities, they aren't silos. They're levers. We stack them right and you build something that no agency ever could actually build. So I'm curious, what modality are you leading with right now? Drop it in the comments and let me know what model you even want to explore next. Which brings me to the final shift. You don't need more clients. You don't need more staff. You don't even need more services. You need a model that flexes as your expertise grows. When you combine multi-tier pricing or these transitional offers where you're going to train your client to be able to do something in-house, or leverage delivery, which is maybe a group consulting or asynchronous support or tech-assisted services, you unlock what Blair Enns called that anti-agency model, or what I like to call an alt agency. Now, again, this isn't about necessarily ditching done-for-you work, unless that's what you truly want, because you can use this to replace all of your done-for-you work. The beauty of the alt agency model is that it's designed around you. It's designed around your expertise, your lifestyle goals, your income goals, which I'm guessing are going to be different from the next person. You get to choose the shape and the structure of your offers based on how you want to work, how you want to grow, and how your clients will get the best results. Now that you understand these shifts and what shedding these labels can actually do for your clarity, for your delivery, and honestly, your profitability, in the next video right here or around my head, I'll show you exactly how to build your own alt agency step by step.